Hello and welcome to this webinar on new product introduction delivering launch excellence. In this webinar, I will be sharing an NPI model for launch excellence and some best practice examples from our experience related to this topic. This webinar has been prepared by myself, Robin Talwar, and my colleague, Richard Hammond. As a brief introduction, both me and Richard have got 40 plus years of industry experience in NPI systems training and implementation. I'm the lead author and practitioner of NPI training materials delivered in support of an aerospace program. And Richard is the lead author and trainer for training materials supporting Rolls-Royce PPAP Global Initiative. A simple success definition for new product introduction is product launch right first time, on time in full, and at target cost. Achieving this will deliver both customer and business expectations from NPI. Industry Forum has developed an NPI model for launch excellence, which can help organizations to achieve this desired performance. I will now introduce this model to you. I will start with briefly explaining the stable foundations required for implementing this model. If we look at the three elements, product and technology roadmap element will help us to align our development efforts in organization and efficiently manage product lifecycle while meeting customer needs. This element will play a key role in business strategy with definition of what new products or technology will contribute towards business growth targets. Product costing and portfolio analysis will help us match profitable solutions existing within our business with focused product market groups. This in turn will work as a good input for business development and help them to align bid opportunities with our commercial strengths in the business. The S&OP link with NPI will help us to manage resource and capacity while introducing new products in the business. Key elements of stable foundations have a very close link to the business strategy. After building stable foundations, we start looking at our process pillar elements, which are required for successful journey of new product through the organization. I'll briefly talk about what each of these process pillars will deliver. The NPI process pillar will define a structure and a route map with cross-functional roles and responsibilities to successfully complete a product introduction. The project management pillar will help the governance of each individual product going through an organization. The design excellence pillar will help us in managing product risks and driving value throughout the product design and development process. The manufacturing process design pillar will help us to pick the right and most efficient manufacturing solution, driving right first time approach. The product and process validation pillar will help us to validate customer requirements related to the product and internal organization requirements of a repeatable manufacturing process. The supply chain readiness pillar will help us to support the supply chain during new product introduction and ensure their readiness to launch products right first time and on time in full to our organization. The NPI-related aerospace industry standards are valuable to keep each of the process pillar elements intact and aligned. And as an output, implementation of this model has already proven to deliver product launch excellence, which can be measured by product launch right first time, on time in full, and at target cost. From our experience of working with a number of aerospace companies, some common challenges in NPI journey are low win percentage for bids, a one-size-fits-all NPI process, on-time in full failure caused by resource bottleneck, and an erratic NPI quality, cost, and delivery performance. Overcoming these challenges relate to our NPI model and in more with our NPI process pillar and understanding the aerospace industry standards. In the next slides, I will share some examples related with route to success. Completing bids for 100% of opportunities coming into the business can be a big challenge. Added time pressures will only spread the already scarce availability of resources across all the opportunities and may further reduce the chances for winning bids. In this situation, selecting the right opportunities to bid will increase the likelihood of winning. This will involve identifying opportunities which closely align to our business and operations strategy, match our technical capability, and align to our commercial strengths in the business. This becomes the driving strategy for making bid no bid decisions and will help us to make the right decision on opportunities presented to the business. It also helps the management team to consider risks early on and make informed decisions on route to growth of business. Most businesses today have an existing NPI process to satisfy the management system requirements, but not necessarily the defined process is always followed. Variations in complexity of NPI makes a one-size-fits-all NPI process redundant very quickly, and the cross-functional team trying to implement are not fully bought into it. To be successful with NPI process implementation, a flexible implementation approach is required. And to implement this approach, the solution would be to map the NPI process, which defines what tasks and decision points are required, who owns each of the task and decision making in the organization, how are we going to present the output of each task, and when on the overall timeline will the task complete. On the screen now, you can see an example related to this process mapping, where in the what column you can see the tasks which are related to NPI process and the decision point which is highlighted in the yellow cell. The who would define which functions in the organizations are either responsible, accountable, consulted, or informed. The how will define the standardized output for each of these tasks, and the when would define the completion of these tasks in relation to the overall timeline. Another common challenge for new product introduction is resource bottlenecks, which is mostly caused by new product introduction pipeline measurement. This leads to surprises related to resource management for NPI, and lack of NPI inflow measurement leads into no resource planning at all. On the other hand, lack of NPI progress measurement will lead into a continuous firefighting mode and cause further resource constraints. Measuring the NPI gap provides a good visibility of NPI pipeline. In an ideal state, NPI funnel gap is equal to realized opportunities in form of customer contracts. Measuring NPI pipeline in terms of time and value will help in both planning and allocating resources, in turn achieving on-time and full performance. The erratic quality, cost, and delivery performance is another common challenge for NPI and is often caused by out-of-sequence outputs related to new product introduction. Best practices like advanced product quality planning will guide us in delivering the NPI outputs at the right time and in turn improve the performance. With relation to aerospace industry standards, the industry has faced a mixture of standards now, some taken from the aero sector and some from the automotive sector. In many respects, the aero sector has lagged behind the automotive sector by some 10 years. When you consider the advanced product quality planning and the production part approval process has been used in the automotive sector for some 2.5 decades. Making a decision about the best approach to follow and finding standards to support has been very difficult. Maybe the NPI model supported by the new Aero industry standards is the way to go. One of the mistakes that was made within the automotive sector was that the customer, quite rightly, drove the need to improve. The customer defines its requirement, but suppliers adopted a tick box approach. The result was the confidence and improvement that the customer was seeking from the supply chain did not exist, and the supply chain was not improving but was busy creating documents to keep the customer happy. There was a perception of no value added but only additional cost. There is a different approach. Use the standards and framework to create genuine improvement, implement it for company's benefit, and gain recognition from customer for doing so. The result is a more robust and reliable NPI process supported with the potential for real cost reduction. In 2016, aerospace standard commonly known as AS9145 was released, which was modeled on the automotive industry APQP and PPAP approach. The best way to look at this is that APQP is the process. It sequences the right activities at the right time by the right people for the right reasons. The output of the process can be considered as the PPAP file, in simple terms, a set of documents in support of the delivered product. This collection of documents confirms the right activities and behaviors. Often the customer drives for the output PPAP, but does not give guidance on how to achieve that output. AS9145 gives guidance on both. The standard model for APQP follows the following themes: project planning, product design and development, process design and development, product and process validation, ongoing production, use, and post-delivery service. The 5 themes nicely follow the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle and closely aligns to the industry forum NPI model. By following the 5 themes within APQP, supporting tools and techniques can be implemented with the standard model for APQP, resulting in 11 documented deliverables. These include design record, design FMEA, process flow, process FMEA, measurement systems analysis, initial process capability studies, packaging, preservation, and labeling standards, first article inspection. Customer-specific PPAP requirements, normally additional requirements for PPAP tailored to meet specific customer needs. And finally, the PPAP approval form, which details the files, contents, and reason for PPAP submission. In simple terms, apply APQP and get PPAP free. Now, PPAP basically confirms that engineering requirements are properly understood and verified, and at the same time, manufacturing quality and rate potential exists. Industry Forum has a range of service offerings which relate to both aerospace management systems and new product introduction. There has been lately a release of aerospace management systems, and we run courses both in open and closed form, which can go through each of the standards at an awareness and a practitioner level. For new product introduction, we have services relating to doing a gap assessment, going through a new product launch excellence with different modules, development of a gated process, project management related to new product introduction, design process improvement, development of manufacturing process, and assessment of supply readiness for new product introduction. If you have any queries, please visit our website industryforum.co.uk for any further details. Thank you for listening to this webinar.